Howdy everyone, welcome along to At Odds, all thanks to Unibet. No Hammer this week because he is sunning himself in Thailand. We'll get the details about that very, very shortly. But Mark Waugh, welcome along.
I'm here, thanks. Rusty.
Brian, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm protesting.
Why?
I'm not sitting up on the dais with you, Mark Waugh.
Why's that?
Last week, the cricket game we had,
We had a little game of cricket.
would have knocked out all three pegs.
And?
I can't remember that.
Wouldn't walk.
I can't remember. It wasn't, who was umpiring? Jules, wasn't he?
So you're saying
our
that
boss.
Junior is a cheat?
I don't remember you getting
If the hat
a ball
fits,
past the middle of my bat, so I think that's wrong. Sit down, idiot.
You're on a roll, Brian.
I'll just let you know, I'm protesting this.
Later on, we'll see
Taking
the
it
Eels 2051. What is the Eels tattoo? 2150?
2150. Some
That's
people
their
think it's the postcode of Parramatta. In fact, it's when the Eels will win the comp next. You want to have a look?
Plenty to talk about on the show.
Junior?
We've got our
Junior,
ladder,
Where is
our
it?
big bets.
Eels tap.
Hang on,
You can't even see it.
you just do what you want to do, mate.
Moving right along. Let's go round the grounds with all the latest in
Beauty.
sport. And we've had the NRL have a few dramas, we've had the AFL have a few dramas. Mark Coyne apparently got a little too out of hand in Singapore.
Yeah.
Should he keep his job? He's been a goody two-shoes for a long, long time. And I say that with all due respect. He's been a terrific bloke. Should he lose everything on the account of one bad move?
Well, look, the NRL, I mean, they've put that in place for the players, you know, the stand-down rule. I know Mark Coyne, and he's a terrific bloke, but he's been arrested over in Singapore. I think there's got to be some sort of accountability there.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think, but
If
what
it,
is
if
he
it
need
works
to-
for the players, it's got to
I
work
think
for the officials as well.
Yeah, there's got to be some
No
sort
way.
of suspension.
One little mistake. Give him a suspended sentence if he does something again.
But a
then.
suspended sentence is a nothing. I mean, let's face
Well,
it, that's a nothing.
Well, what, was it that bad what he did?
We got arrested.
Yeah, but
They
maybe
held
the
his
policeman was a
passport
bit.
for
Well, we don't know the
Bit too
full.
tough
We
on
don't
him.
know. We don't know the full
No,
story.
no way.
a lot of rumours
too many
going around
ticks for him.
about bits and pieces. So the sooner
Tell
they
us,
come
Russ.
clean,
Tell us.
the sooner
Tell us,
everyone
Russell.
comes clean with what happens, because he did keep it under wraps for
Yeah.
nearly 3 weeks. You only do that when you know that there's something really wrong. That's another thing that's got to be
don't know
investigated.
about that.
Are the Dragons, are they in crisis? They get Widdop back this week. We'll find out how bad they're going when they take on South.
I can't understand Ben Hunt not playing.
But there's got to be something
Fletch.
more to that.
There's got to be.
Because
you need to win the game. He's your
and
best
Mary's
player.
not a deal. Mary's played Origin football. He knows your good players have to back up.
Yeah.
So something has gone on there. Whether he's got some personal problems. Ben Hunt,
$800,000.
At least put him on the bench if he's tired.
Yeah.
He can come off the bench.
in
he
reserve.
wouldn't have helped him though. They were diabolical last week.
Newcastle take on the Tigers. Speaking of diabolical, the Tigers have got they've got that covered left, right, and centre. They just have a bad start each and every week, down by 20 points. You can't win games when you're giving good teams a 20-point start.
No, the Knights are coming off a thumping against the current premiers. I think the Knights will bounce back, but you're right. The Tigers, they're just missing.
They're too in and out, the
See
Tigers.
the frustration from the coach in that press conference because Madge is, he's a disciplinarian, but the Tigers. I think that's it for him this
We
year.
mentioned the Rabbitohs and the Dragons. They take on each other on Friday night football. $1.40 the Rabbitohs, $3.05 the Dragons. They do get Widdop back, but I'm sorry, I couldn't back the Dragons with counterfeit money.
Nah, you couldn't. I mean, they're moving. They're clutching at straws. Widdop straight back into 6 with a dodgy shoulder. You reckon the South forwards aren't going to be testing that shoulder out? Weird. You'd think that they'd put Widdop at fullback just to ease him back in.
I thought the Rabbitohs were lucky to win last week against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It's only the last 10 minutes when Cameron Murray come back into the game that
How
they.
was he going?
I tell you
That
what,
they won.
there is some value
No
in one of the
certainties there.
games.
Yeah, no
The
certainties.
Warriors 243. Not often I say that they are good value, but the Eels had 40 put on them last week. They do have a reasonable record at Bankwest Stadium, but I'm very loath to take $1.58
No.
Parramatta against anyone.
Without Fergo. Fergo's not named again.
Yeah.
And he gives them all that impetus at the back. So I'm with you, Russ. I like the start. It was 4.5.
The other big game, which will be interesting, and Max Krilich stirred up some trouble. A
Yeah.
go-to man when the Manly and the press
Thrower.
need someone. You just go to thrower, and
Surely they're big odds, Manly.
well,
They're
355.
They're capable, aren't they, Fletch?
Absolutely.
$1.32 Melbourne. You just get the sense after the Cameron Smith game, and then they went to the Gold Coast having to face them after the coach sacking. They've had a couple of big games. They might be due for a flat spot. Is that fair? Does that
Well,
happen?
you know what? I reckon Tommy on his own, Tommy Trbojevic, is worth 6 points himself. No doubt. So if you look at the line, it's 8.5. There you go. 14.5.
I like Manly with a start there.
Yeah.
And you get the feeling that if Melbourne get in front, they might just try and lock this one down rather than try and play the... They're not going to get a game where they score 40 points in the first half like last week. Gold Coast, that was tip footy. They're not going to get that with Manly, are they?
No.
No.
And the big game of the weekend happens late on Sunday. Penrith, who are going for 1,000 wins in a row, taking on Canberra. $1.90 each of two, $1.92 if you shop around at unibet.com.au.
Is that current? Because obviously Kickow
Yep.
just wasn't
That's
suspended
current.
last
Yeah,
night.
I
It's
don't.
current.
Well, I think he was guilty. It only changes if he got off. He
Yeah,
was.
right.
He was always going to.
They named him, that's all
yeah,
I'm saying.
of course.
I thought he should have got off. That was,
Yeah, I've got the Raiders in my slam dunk. I think the Raiders will beat the Panthers.
I think so too, Junior.
Okay, so that's the NRL. We'll get our slam dunks and the Hail Marys very, very shortly. And just as a bit of a heads up, last week Mark Schwartz's slam dunk, $18. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming. His Hail Mary also won $4, and a couple of other guys won. Hence the reason why Hammer's in a Muay Thai camp in Thailand.
I don't think he's in a camp.
He's somewhere getting a lot of work done on his punting ability. He's the only loser amongst us, and so we've flicked him for a week or so.
Okay, now Russ, AFL. Hammer's not here. Jaden Stevenson posting holidays while he's been suspended. What's the
Yeah,
go?
I don't have a problem with it. You could argue the timing of it was a bit ordinary because they lost by 46, but we were talking off air. If they won, no one would have cared. Nathan Buckley says who cares. The club says who cares. The serious one, the guy who had the biggest blow up was Wayne Carey.
He didn't do anything wrong in his career.
Wayne, seriously? If social media was around, he'd still be in the fetal position
But
in the corner.
What's your thoughts
of
on
the bathroom.
Jaden actually posting the winning ticket he was holding in the pool?
You idiot.
No? I mean, that's not great.
No,
That's
that's
not a great
probably
look.
not as much. Anyway, speaking of Collingwood, in a roundabout segue, they take on Richmond this Friday.
What's going on
night.
with them?
Well, they win
Hot and cold now?
Yeah.
over the West Coast, then they get pumped by your mob, my second team.
My mob, yeah,
GWS,
GWS.
that was out of the books and a great training effort, coaching effort,
Training effort.
by Leon Cameron.
Leaping Leon.
I think they'll go again. I think they'll bounce back again, Collingwood. But it's a game that could define their season, top four, or Richmond's season, top
Richmond are
four.
flying.
It's a good game. There'll be 95,000 there on Friday night.
Have you been to Melbourne?
Oh,
There's
MCG.
There's nothing else to do down there. That's
It's
where they
the
go to footy.
best. It's the best. Have you been to a Roosters game?
Yeah, the Trots.
Don't have
9,500
to.
people.
We've got so much other things to do.
Yes, of course you have.
Good restaurants.
What else in AFL?
Paddles.
The other
AFL?
big games,
That's about
West Coast and North Melbourne. The improving North Melbourne, a bit unlucky last week, taking on West Coast. But West Coast should win that at home. So
Surely he has to sign. Give him the job.
Reece Shaw?
Don't they give him the job?
Well, they should be signing him and David.
Because you
too.
said no. You said a couple of weeks ago, you said, no, you've got to wait.
No, I said
It's
he's
good you're asking questions and answering yourself. That's
Yes,
good.
righto. Let's talk about
Son of
something
a-
that you know
What about cricket?
Ask a question about cricket.
What about our trial game?
What about
over
our
in,
trial game?
England,
Good
where
question,
We're
Junior.
trying to get all our batsmen out of form. Yesterday we had a trial game. This is instead of the traditional warm-up games on tour. This was a Pat Howard idea, which is a good idea. Trouble is the wicket did a lot and all the batsmen got out for nothing. So
Is he still there, Pat Howard?
no, he's not. But one team got 105 and the other team are 7 for 90 at stumps.
As an England player, would you be laughing in
Probably, yeah.
at this?
Apparently they've served up a pitch that had a lot of grass on it.
Which won't
That's
be
the only
any-
thing we didn't control was the pitch we were playing on.
Oh,
We've
right.
controlled everything else. But the team's going to be announced, I think, at the back end of this game, the 16-man squad.
I know we spoke about you when in the nets, if a fast bowler chin music you'd
Like
just
Fletch.
walk out.
Yeah.
What would be the rules on this game?
Well, hopefully we won't get any more broken arms like
But
we did
would
in
there
the
be
nets.
rules?
No, they're steaming in. They're all trying to get in this 16-man squad. If you get an 80 or a 50 or even a 20, you might get in the 16-man squad. The bowlers are all taking wickets. There's probably 2 or 3 spots up for grabs in this Ashes squad. Maybe a third opener, maybe a number 6. And
So we away to Hanscom, these sorts
Well, you
of
got-
guys. Kawaja's there.
Kawaj is there. If he's injured, I think Joe Burns might come in for him. But if not, we're looking at a number 6 spot. You've got Curtis Patterson,
Any of
Matthew
them-
Wade,
what about any of the-
Bancroft?
Labuschagne,
any of the Marshes? Any of the
Mitchell
Marshes?
Marsh is in the hunt. He might make the squad
Yeah.
as a
Junior
batting
Bancroft.
all-rounder.
Does he come straight back
Bancroft, I don't know about him. I think they might wait a bit longer for Bancroft. I can't see how he can sneak in that squad. So it's interesting what's going to happen there.
Fellas, what was your thoughts? I know we joked about it at the start about the Chinese swimmer in the series department. We had great Titmus knocking off Ledecky, and then we had Matt Horton protesting, and then another great Britain swimmer protesting. Are you 100% behind him, or are you a bit on the fence?
in relation to the protest?
The protest.
Well, if the media report's saying that he smashed a vial of blood
And he had flippers on too.
and he had flippers on,
Yeah.
and he was refused to do a urine test.
Yeah.
How the hell
How-
is
how's
Sun Yang? How is he swimming?
How's FINA letting him
yeah.
swim
Yeah.
under a stay of proceedings?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
I don't get it. So if it is true, all those reports, I've got no problem with what Max
And
did.
especially if he's convicted already. He's already served.
He served,
2 years.
And another English swimmer protested overnight, didn't they, as well? So
He's good
I'm
at
happy with
sledging, though. I like his sledge.
What did he
you see what
say?
he said?
I won.
Yeah, I won, you lose. That's his sledge.
Straight to the point.
Yeah, imagine that in cricket.
Yeah.
I prefer that other one. You told
And
me.
not surprisingly, Australia got poleaxed in the rugby. They now take on Argentina this weekend. The All Blacks play
We beat
South
them,
Africa.
won't we, surely?
Oh, I don't think so.
We got beat by them last year.
Okay.
Well, they almost knocked off the All Blacks. Remember?
Not looking good.
Just look for our
The
Hail
Wallabies.
Mary and our slam dunks coming up very, very shortly. And as I mentioned, Schwarzer has lobbed with an $18 winner. And he is now the leader, taking over from someone who's not happy. We'll find out later. That's all to come on At Odds. Welcome back to At Odds, all thanks to Unibet. Brian Fletcher, Mark Warren, Russell Barwick, Shane Heel in Thailand, Mark Schwarzer also overseas. We'll hear from them very, very shortly. And don't forget our bets on the weekend are all boosted. And just as a favour and a fill up again, all the people who took your bet last week, it was only 2 dividends, but the good guys at Unibet paid out Junior's bet, so well done.
Well, there
to
was
you.
3 dividends
You did it before,
when I put the bet on. When they put
and
the bet on.
so everybody,
very well done, Unibet.
Everyone's a winner there with that one. Let's have a look at last week's results. And what about Schwarzer?
Yeah.
$2,250 profit. I made $550, normally enough to retain the yellow jersey, but
Yeah, that's
not
big.
today.
We both made something too, didn't we?
Junior
That's
made
big.
something, Fletch
Oh, what?
made something, and
On
the
Hammer.
reason why Hammer's in disgrace is because for the 15th
He's in
week
punting
a row,
rehab. in Thailand.
he's lost. So we have a new leader in the overall, Junior.
Mate, I'm upset. I have to hand the yellow jersey over.
He's got
to
you by
Schwarzer.
$1,200.
Well,
And we have a new
You would,
third
wouldn't
place
you?
getter, so I'm on the dais. So
So I'm clear, Schwartz's Hail Mary was 18-1.
his slam dunk.
Sorry, slam dunk.
So the
Yeah.
his slam
$100
dunk
bet,
was
the big bet, yeah.
The big bet, that's where he got it.
That's how
Smart.
confident he is. So
Schwartzy.
let's
Smart.
look for a
Smart
little
if
bit
you
of
can
his
do it.
action this week. Fellas, let's have a look. First up, your slam dunk. Why are they going to win and who are they?
Okay, I'm going with Adelaide to beat Carlton.
You're going
I'm
AFL.
going AFL.
Wow.
Yeah.
Taking
I'm
16 weeks.
I'm going AFL. Then I'm backing up with West Coast back at home to towel up North Melbourne. You happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Bunnies minus 4.5 against the Dragons.
Easy.
Roosters minus 8.5 against the Bulldogs.
$5.
$5 boosted. I reckon that I will be collecting minimum 500 come Wednesday next week.
Okay.
Righto.
Mark Wall.
I'm keeping it simple. I'm going an NRL triple here. The Broncos to beat the Titans. The Raiders to beat the Panthers. Now, that's the game. Could go either way, but I like the Raiders and I like the Knights to beat the Tigers. So
You're going back to the well with the Bronx. Remember we barred them?
Yeah, I mean, the Titans are legless.
Legless, yeah.
They're hopeless.
I had a little bit of luck with the rugby last week, so we're going to go again. All Blacks to beat South Africa. I'm always backing Brisbane Lions because they're over the odds each and every week, so they'll beat Hawthorn. West Coast, like you, to beat North Melbourne, and Rabbitohs to get over the line against the Dragons. That's about the same price as yours, Fletch, so
Yes.
hopefully there's something there for the punters. We will get to both Schwartzy and Hammer in a sec, but let's go with your Hail Marys, boys.
Okay, Hail Mary. Well, I've thrown another AFL. St Kilda to beat Melbourne.
Yep,
Battle of the cellar dwellers.
I agree.
Broncos minus 6.5 against the Titans. Sea Eagles I'm taking the 8.5
I like the Sea Eagles,
against
yeah.
Melbourne.
Okay.
And the Eels minus 4.5 against the Warriors. Look at that.
Oof.
$15.
That's a gutsy one.
That's a big play.
I know.
Go, mate.
Big
All
West,
right,
undefeated.
I'm going racing at Rose Hill. I'm going to stick to my place all up. I've got 3 of them. I've got race 7, Take It in Turn to run a place, into race 8, Tanico, which won last week.
Yeah,
Got
very
off, and I've got it
impressive.
to run a place, and I've got the horse I've got to share in Oxford Tycoon in the last to run a place.
How
I
many
reckon
horses do you have a share in?
a lot, 30
How
or
m-
40.
He's
a good horse, though.
How many good ones?
20 or 30.
Okay.
That'll probably be about, I reckon they'll all be about $2 a place. So what's that, about $8, $9, $10?
Yep. I'll boost it. Unibet will boost it. In AFL, I think it's an upset. Collingwood can beat Richmond. I think St Kilda can beat Melbourne. And as much as I don't like saying it, I think Argentina can knock off the Wallabies. That is around about a $14 Unibet fill-up. And speaking of fill-ups, our fill-ups this weekend in the AFL, we are going with Hawthorn in the game against Brisbane, and the NRL one will be there on the website as well. Plenty to look forward to across the weekend. We'll get the NRL one straight after we hear from Mark Schwarzer and Shane Hill.
Well, I need a winner this week because you boys have been on fire holding your end, so I need to get it done. The slam dunk this week for me, staying with the AFL. I'm going Richmond will be too good for Collingwood, but I think they'll compete. 1-39 for me. And then I'm going over west, the West Coast. They won't lose 2 in a row at home, taking on North Melbourne. Again, 1-39. But the better round for me is the Mighty Bombers. They've been on fire. They put points on the board, and I think they'll put too many for the Gold Coast. 30 plus, but they could win by 10 goals. For me, the Hail Mary, and this is one that I need to get done too to get some money in the bank for the punters. We've got the Cats. You're going to think I'm crazy going with my Cats again, but 1-39 against a competitive Sydney team. I don't think they can kick enough to win up there. And I'm going to go the Dogs to bounce back as well, 1-39. Think they'll get that done. And I'm going to go with Fletch. I'm going to throw in a bit of NRL this week as well. I'm getting the Sharks, the Knights, and Souths all to win. And I think that's going to have some nice little odds for us, so I can climb back up that ladder. Good on you, fellas. Keep up the good work.
Guys, listen, you're obviously doing something seriously wrong. I'm here hard at work, researching all my games, knowing which ones to pick, and something's working right for me, isn't it? So I think you guys need to change your tact a little bit. Anyway, my slam dunk for this week is Genk to beat Kortrijk, Humboldt to beat Darmstadt, and Los Angeles FC to beat Atlanta. And then my Hail Mary, of course, has to be Atletico Madrid to beat Real Madrid.
Okay, you want to start?
Good on you, boys. The tips from Mark Schwarzer and Shane Hill, and Hammer will be back once he gets himself sorted and out of rehab. Cowboys are the NRL fill-up, $3 this weekend in their game. And of course, the AFL fill-up is Hawthorn, $2 against the Brisbane Lions. Go to the website, unibet.com.au for all the details and all the specials, including racing specials. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the races at Rose Hill and the naming of the Ashes squad later in the week.
Looking forward to you putting up your top 12 in due course on
11, I'll go 11 actually.
And Fletch?
I'm looking forward to UFC 240 in Canada. So Max Holloway,
He stopped treading on my RMs.
He's fighting Frankie Edgar.
Edgar.
You know what this means for us, and especially our man, the VW.
He's got his tips on the website.
Yeah, Alex Volkanovski. He may be the challenger to Maxi. So fingers crossed, Maxi. Give it to Edgar Britt.
And the good news for us, Fletch, netball's back this weekend. I got Sutherland.
We were back last week.
1,000 miles away. Anyway, that'll do it. We'll see you next week for more At Odds, all thanks to unibet.com.au.
Ciao.